also have my trailer set up in my buddy Ari's house, so we can always open that bitch up. If you need a place to crash, whatever you're talking about, my place, I got my spare bedroom, my two couches.
Back for sure.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got like 20, 50 people coming out to take trails.
Okay.
So
Great. Okay. Okay. I just wanted to let you know.
appreciate it. Massive shit. Thank you so much.
Hey, so you know what you're doing. Do you have any info on your phone you guys should pipe through the house?
Same person is bringing the ice.
Matt,
Pivotal.
do you have house music?
Thank you. I need to find that little jack. That's what
I got it. I got it already.
what?
Yeah.
Is it got the adapter?
So I would do like, maybe some like reggae or something like that.
Yeah, one with Spotify, do like
Yeah.
iration station, something like that.
Maybe Don Harlow, something like that.
Okay.
Ika Mouse, something like that.
Right on it. Just asking.
Cool.
I said, who's bringing the trash bags? Same person who was bringing the ice. You want some help with the ice? I got some babes. Can you help get the ice to the bar? Also, give you iced out water at chest on the left. Also, let's get that.
You got it. Yeah, you got it. Actually, yes, down by your feet.
Got it? Oh, Matt.
But you're good.
Oh, you have
Yeah, that one doesn't need to be clean. You got it. Thank you.
Watch out behind you, buddy. Oh, don't worry. Go that way to the bar.
You want to come sign this?
Yeah.
Not turning your eyes off. All right.
So is this cooler getting water in this? Empty, Yeah.
Let's take a bag. I've done these up.
Oh, that's the water drop. Okay. Got it. I'll bring a couple of them. Yeah. Yeah, we know. 25 years of bartending experience. Oh, there you go.
You guys recognize each other, right?
Yeah. Running so fast, I'm blur with that line. You gotta look down and you go by me.
Hey, Matt. Where would you want your particular area you want to see? That way you know where they're on. So just grab anybody or yourself, whatever. Just a couple of people.
Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Perfect.
Louder? It's good.
your fellow sommelier.
Oh, head on. Cool. Okay, I got it.
We'll see how this corner first. Mind you,
Rabbi, you good with the setup for the microphone? You guys don't know each other? That's Jen Krause's husband.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Make sure you told you to sanitize that microphone
You
for
just
you.
have this one bar? Or two?
Just that one bar.
Okay, so you have two bartenders here. Now there's a third on the right.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. I'm AJ, but
You need a cooler for ice.
I got it. We've got a few. I got 3 bags scrambled with the razors in there.
they didn't give us like the straws or these little
Okay, give them the rice.
Okay, cool. I think all the ice we have is stashed right now.
But if you need anything, now's the time. You got, hey, we need a spoon for stirring or something. I'm sure. Matt,
there's
get it.
some
It's got
drawers.
oh, there is.
Is this the company you're dancing with? Because there was some dancing with you, like when you were, like, and she was like choreographing through you, right? Yeah. I was like,
This recycling can, it seems like maybe that should be out here somewhere.
Well, we just said just go ahead and make it trash.
Regular trash. Daniel, if it starts, we're getting where it's pouring and wonky, we can always fill pitchers.
Yeah, right, let it settle out. We have pictures?
I have that one, I'll find some.
Okay.
Yeah, Max, that's why we brought the manure, brought our manure home.
oh, great. So you'll be here for lighting the candles at sundown?
Yeah. Yeah, sundown, 4:45.
I didn't know you'd be in bed.
I don't go to bed that early. I mean, you know.
I was looking for another picture maybe.
You know
So
which
we pour
purse this is,
beer
right?
into, you know, but, it's not really necessary.
Is that?
Not after.
It seems like it's
Okay. This one's mine, Rabbi. This is my.
Streets full.
She just went. I think she's just washing her hands.
just wash the rag.
One's coming.
Rabbi, you want something to drink?
Oh, not right now. Thank you.
Yeah, we have it.
Check. Check.
It's like, well, that's a Ivan, where's Ivan? God.
Are you artistic? Right, and he's not my but we'll find someone that or someone that's definitely. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, we'll find her. Okay, perfect. The photos are going to keep going too. The slideshow. Make sure.
Motivation, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't motivated. I really appreciate it. And AJ really appreciate the family. I don't need to know. I think it's back there somewhere.
I'm working at first. I think it's actually plugged in. There's no new iPhones that have headphone jack on them. And I'm trying to see if my whole app ought to fire up like that. For my Spotify account up that I can get out. The one that goes from the well, we've had a couple of things all these fucking displays, so.
It's all it's supposed to happen.
Right.
They make them so that way you lose it. Oh, nice! Very cool. I'm very happy.
You know where it is, but you can't hear it.
Doesn't matter, but that's the one that I sent, and I want to make sure you have it. I appreciate it. This is the more important. My part of it is that.
Yeah.
Where's your team?
Oh, hey, we're done. Like everything's done.
It's narrow, so you can see.
We were thinking kind of alongside the Pistons, the big ones. And,
Stop and lunch on that. The tackle.
created, you could actually make the strip around my house, but it's not.
This come in a little bit with that, we want to bring the table back. You want it? Yeah. So that'll stay where it is.
I don't know. Yeah.
When you give your card, if you want to pick it up.
That's good. I don't know, let's ask you about where the other pictures are.
Well, this is like not.
Rabbi, how are you? I'm Peter. Great to see you. Yeah. Petey Squadoosh! Where are you sitting, Petey? I don't know. Let's get some seats here. I'm a front row type of guy, Jarrod.
I walked into the restaurant.
Where you gonna sit?
Check, check.
Ava, I'm just gonna walk this over to the car so I can get in. Yeah, I'm gonna go take it to the car so I can get into the car. And then unless you want me just to put it in the car.
That was a great statement. Right, yeah, roll it up.
That's all the people ask me.
Put hook on tie, I don't know. I think this vehicle and that vehicle is bad.
He's with Bill Clinton. How did he get that photo? He was with Bill Clinton, like the real Bill Clinton.
Stuff
That was not
smooth
an
like
impersonator. That was the real Bill Clinton.
On here, Mike, sir.
Oh, God. He said I'll get hooked on it. At Motor City scratching. I couldn't figure out how to download it. Yeah. He brought his turntables one night. Yeah, I'm gonna need tissues for sure. Air like that.
I walked away for 2 seconds.
Yeah, you know, I found a splitter, but not what I'm looking for. Just all kinds of things that are closed. And I got a ton of them. I just never put them in my stuff here.
What are you trying to do? Go from where to where?
So I've got this USB, and I want to go from the headphone over to here. That way I'll get my camera sound.
You need a headphone?
No, I have another headphone jack here, and this gives me a microphone and a headphone. So I'm good on that end.
I don't know where to look. I just went into my supply room and looked.
Well, if not, then
I'm pretty sure what I showed you is all I got.
yeah.
AJ? Yes, sir. How many bags of ice water? 12? 140 pounds. I got it. Make sure you guys know where to get our ice. Yeah, 140 pounds.
Thank you.
look, a teeny little kid at my bar mitzvah.
Is this your for the event?
No, I can take a regular chair actually.
Yeah, that'd probably
I
be better.
prefer it actually.
Hey Max, venue manager, can you help me get this chair out of the way and bring a regular chair for Doug? This is just good food. Where are you going? Just out of the way. Yeah, but it's back. Much better.
Okay, cool.
That's what I had to buy. They only have one. You know? That's how pharmacies are.
Check.
Be in the background of
I'll use the rabbi's flag now.
You have any gender vendors?
Any what?
Any gender vendors? I've got them, I can't find them.
So
Convert this to a female.
I see. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's see.
I've got a jar of it somewhere.
You know, if I don't have it here, I have it myself.
So, either male to female. Is that what you need? No, female to female is what you need.
Is that right?
Does that work?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a mic?
Mic?
Yeah.
What kind of mic do you want?
Maybe Omni?
Well, I have mostly Sures. I have
Right on it, yeah. Where should I put it on the ends? On all the shirts? On all the
I'm looking at it now. I'm like, I can be
I think you're stuck with that because
Okay, that'll work.
the ones that I'm thinking of require phantom power, which has to come from the board. It sends a power to the mic, it's a powered mic. And you can't do that yourself.
Yeah, that'll have to do.
Yeah. So do you get anything yet?
I'm not sure. I'm not only able to monitor through the feed itself, and there's a delay. So I'll tell you, a little bit here.
All right, I'll go get something.
Yeah, they were fake.
That 45 minutes call, we called and said, do you need anything before I leave the house? So when did we do? I said no. Oh.
It's on the table. I was like, table.
Yes, oh yeah.
Son doesn't like you.
Frequency, yeah.
You need one more chair? Yeah, after a while. This way you guys can do I gotta put this out. She asked us, but I want to cut them. So you bring your own biscuits. Fair?
Doesn't matter. Not well. Yeah, we haven't done much shit.
I know, I have the same problem, but I'm so thirsty.
But there's definitely a level start to a football game. Yeah, right. College football game. What? Still listening to credits at the end of the game.
Oh no.
Not too good.
Yeah, my goal was to start the service by 1:15 Friday night. The late wedding will be out here by then. We'll start kicking crap. You guys got your spot there. Hopefully,
I could put a reserve on Have you started seeing the slideshow? I mean, it goes on for a long time. We'll have driving.
It was weird. And the guy that won, everybody was like,
So I guess we just grab a seat, here, and then I'll sign into the book.
Right. This is where we're gonna sit.
A lot of people, you guys are sitting here. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and then. Oh.
This.
I'm gonna have a seat. You don't want to sit down? Sit down.
You don't want. I understand.
Okay? I'll text you. I want to talk to you. Okay?
time the friendly could go out here from Finland. The level, very special level. How you doing, Mr.
Praying Buffalo, like in the 70s. Praying Buffalo in the 70s. We are well shared with our neighbors.
Do you come see shows? Boom. You guys thought you scored this amazing steak. Boom. Welcome to the family area. It is great. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I really am. I'm doing parking. Next, you're going to have to take over for Doug here. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Always sucks when you don't see somebody for a long time. It's like, what do I do? It's usually something second
I forgot mine too. There's some. right there.
Oh, yeah, this one.
Yeah, you know, things can open up. Okay, thank you. Matt, yeah, he's the one down here for her.
Yeah, things have been busy. Vegas is It's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market. It's probably both. I guess I was lucky.
Hey everybody, we have 2 minutes. Thank you all for coming. 2 minutes. 2 minutes, everybody. Thanks, Rob.
Here, back up a little bit so that you're actually in the light.
My hair. Oh yeah, I'd rather sit back there and stay to the picture. I can't go up there and talk. Your hair's falling down.
I got that white backdrop.
It's actually pretty good. The rest of it doesn't too bad. I'm having fun with it.
The slideshow I made.
Me and him made good pictures together.
Yeah, it was absolutely the wildest video I've made for Memorial ever.
Oh, cool. That's great.
There's so much fun stuff in there.
Get out of the way so you can
I'll make your phone. Make sure your phone's coming down. Phone code.
Hey everybody, if you could, please make sure your phones are off. Make sure your phones are off. Hey everybody, if you could, find your phone and make sure it's turned off or mute. Thank you.
Shalom and good afternoon. My name is Rabbi Simon Bergman. I am the rabbi and spiritual leader of the Bethel congregation in Madison. And I am here today to join all of you as we honor and recall the memory of Jarrod Brooks Hughes, Menachem Laban ben Miriam, with love and with respect. In this place and in this hour, let us reflect upon the value of life so we may live each day wisely and nobly. May we always be grateful for every blessing God bestows upon us, day by day, and may we in turn bring some measure of blessing to all those whose lives touch our very own. May we also be thankful for the blessings God bestowed on Jarrod. Now is the time to keep our faith, the time to love, to support, and to enrich one another, to listen to the voice of our scriptures that bring us all comfort and a message of God's nearness. The first psalm that I have chosen is Psalm 121. Shir lamalos aso enai el harim me'ayin yovo esri. I will lift up mine eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? Esri me'em Adonai oseh shamayim va'oretz. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Hinei lo yonum v'lo yishon shomer Yisroel. For the guardian of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. Adonai yishmor seiso v'yacham v'yato v'yad olam. The Lord shall guard your going out and coming in from this time forth and forever. You received a little booklet. On the booklet, we have the beautiful 23rd Psalm. It's very meaningful. Most of you, I'm sure, are familiar with it. You might even know it by heart. Let's all join together. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We have come together in accordance with our Jewish tradition as a congregation of family and friends to pay our last respects and final tribute to Jarrod, beloved son, brother, grandson, nephew, and friend, on this 7th day of Hanukkah. How appropriate it is. Hanukkah is the festival of lights. And I was thinking about it, and then it came to me. We know that Jarrod was a ray of sunshine and a shining light in all of our lives. So when a rabbi comes to say a few words at a time such as this, it is not I alone who speak the words. Rather, each one of you, by your very presence here, you all are the most eloquent and silent testimony to all that was good in Jarrod's life. So when we think of Jarrod, we say, not how did he die, but how did he live? Not what did he gain, but what did he give? He gave so much of himself. These are the ways to measure the worth of a man. In our Jewish tradition, we say, Yehi Shem Adonai Bevorach. Blessed be the name of God. So for all that was good in Jarrod's life, we offer the deepest thanks from our hearts. We say, thank you, God. Thank you from his family, his mother Wanda, his brother Corey, his Aunt Heidi and Uncle Rick, his stepdad Jackie, Uncle Todd, cousins Lawrence and Stuart, and of course, all of us, his friends who loved and cherished him. I also want to acknowledge and mention his grandmother Mimi, great-aunt Pat, and his grandfather Edgar, who predeceased him, all of blessed memory. As we recall his 44 years of life, we are both sad and thankful. Our hearts are filled with sadness for our loss, yet we are thankful for the years he was granted and for the privilege of having shared some of those precious, special years with him. So we must not only mourn his passing, but we're all here to celebrate his life. So let us remember all those special qualities that will remain with us in our hearts and minds, even though Jarrod is physically gone. Let us think of all the lives he touched and what a difference he made in this world. We will always remember Jarrod's love that united us in life, the gifts of his heart and his mind that brought all of us joy and happiness, which will always be a precious remembrance. On a personal note, I've known Jarrod since he was 8 years old. I was just talking to Wanda, we would be calling that, 8 years old. I prepared him for his bar mitzvah and watched him grow over the years into a fine young man. He was a very special person. And you want to know something? I knew that he was destined for greatness. He really was. A special person. He touched all of us in a unique way. So when we think of him, we remember his smile, pictures, the sound of his voice, and how he connected with us every time we were with him, no matter what the occasion was. They say that in life, we are given 3 names. The first, our parents give us. Jarrod's Hebrew name was Menachem Laban, which means a comforting heart. And he had heart, and he expressed his love to all of us. Second, the name God gives us by our actions. And he was truly a mensch, really a good, wonderful person. And third, in the trifecta, the name we earn by our personal relationships with family and friends, all of us that are here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I can certainly say that Jarrod gets an 18 plus. An 18 plus. You know why? I thought about this because 18 is high. High is life. He touched all of us in a very special way. And as Rhonda said to me, it's true, he lived every day to the fullest. He gave of himself and he lived every single day to the fullest. I now ask the following to please come forward and share their personal thoughts with us. First, I would like to ask his mother Wanda and Aunt Heidi to please come forward.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Hi, my sister and I would like to welcome everybody on this difficult day. We appreciate you all coming here. And this is going to be a celebration of life for Jarrod because he loved his life. And he touched so many people, and we are all going to miss him. And so this is going to be, as I make jokes about it to my best friend Kara, it's going to be a Jewish-Irish wake here. So, I wanted to say a few things. When I first heard this, it was incredible. I really thought that Jarrod would be making these arrangements for me sometime, because I'm 16 years his senior. Did not expect this, obviously. This poem kind of hits me a lot, how I first felt about this. Called Funeral Blues, Stop All the Clocks, by W.H. Auden. Stop all the clocks, cut off the telephone. Prevent the dog from barking with a juicy bone. Silence the pianos, and with muffled drum, bring out the coffin, let the mourners come. Let airplanes circle, mourning overhead, scribbling on the sky the message he's dead. Put crepe bows around the white necks of the public doves. Let the traffic policeman wear black cotton gloves. He was my north, he was my south, my east and my west, my working week and my Sunday rest, my noon, my midnight, my talk, my song. I thought that love would last forever, I was wrong. The stars are not wanted now, put out every one. Pack up the moon and dismantle the sun. Pour away the ocean and sweep up the wood, for nothing now can ever come to any good. That's how I felt, and I just think it's apropos. I wanted to tell a few stories about Jarrod. I have a million stories about Jarrod. Until I moved moved for my job, he always lived with me and our family. I'm Jarrod's aunt. I'm 16 years older than him, as I mentioned. I remember when he was born. He was born with a full head of hair. His signature look, obviously. It never changed. Jarrod never, that old saying, you never met a stranger. From the time he was a little kid, he would go over and strike up conversations with strangers. My mother was horrified. She was afraid someone was going to kidnap him. This happened all the time. He'd be in the supermarket, he'd be in the car, and he'd be, hi, how are you? I'm Jarrod. And then he'd go on to have a longer discussion. We couldn't ever teach him stranger danger, which is a problem when you have a little kid. I remember one time my Aunt Pat, who's been gone now for 21 years, she was in the grocery store, in a Safeway, that's how long ago that was, here in Las Vegas. And Jarrod went over to go talk to people, and she had a grocery cart she was pushing. She had to abandon the groceries to go run after him because he needed to socialize. He was a little kid. Another story. Years ago when I worked on the Strip, and times were a little tighter. We had one car that Wanda and I shared, and my Aunt Pat, and we all had to go to work at different times. And he was going to elementary school, and he got out at 2:45, and I had to be at work on the Strip, I think at the Desert Inn at that time, at 3 o'clock. And his elementary school was down on Maryland Parkway, for those who are familiar. And, we'd go like, Jarrod, you got to come out, you got to get out, because I got to run, I got to drop you off at home, or whatever. I got to have Wanda, drop me off at work or whatever, and I had to get there within 15 minutes. We had a 1984 Chevy Chevette that 3 people shared. And obviously very working class. He got out, and we'd wait. All the other kids would be out like a shot. He had to stop to talk to everybody and socialize. And I used to tell everybody, he's the last senior citizen out. Why is this child why does it take him so long? All the other kids are running out. They're happy to get out. No, he had to stop. Jarrod did things his way, right from the start. He had to stop and had to make friends and had to talk. I always say Jarrod did stop and smell the roses while we all are rushing to work and doing things. He stopped, smelled the roses, and he knew what was important. He knew what was important. He enjoyed every day. In closing, I want to say, I tend to be an optimistic person. It's hard to find something, sunny about this situation. However, Jarrod will never grow old and wither like the rest of us. He will always be everyone's best friend. I just want to, in closing, I have a couple of quotes that I think resonate with me. The tragedy, I actually had my colleague at work, I have this hanging over my desk in Detroit. The tragedy of life is not that it ends so soon, but that we wait so long to begin it. And that's a quote by W.M. Lewis, and it's really true. Jarrod didn't wait to begin it. We all are stuck on the 9-to-5 treadmill. Jarrod was not. Would never be. Therefore, another quote, I can't attribute this to anybody, but therefore life is short. Take the trip, buy the shoes, and eat the cake.
Amen.
Now I'd like to ask Corey to come forward, please, and share the I remember you.
Before I begin, let me just tell a quick story about the rabbi. The last time I saw the rabbi, I was probably 5 years old, and I was about to go on stage and give a monologue speech, and I had forgotten my lines. I forgot exactly what the speech was supposed to be. I had it memorized for weeks, and the moment before I stepped on stage, I forgot what I was going to say. And the rabbi, him right there, Simon Bergman, he cued me in and told me my lines, because he's used to doing these type of things. He knew maybe someone would forget their lines. And he made me feel totally at ease. I was relieved. And it's kind of like this situation is now. Okay. Let me begin. Friends, how many of us have them? Ones we can depend on. We live in the hearts and the minds of the people we impact while we're here on earth. I grew up with Jarrod. He was there when I was born. He saw every day of my life. It's not too much about me Jarrod knew, didn't know, and vice versa. Having Jarrod in your family is like having a living concierge, especially for me. I was 6 years younger than Jarrod. By the time he was 12, his level of musical expertise was unparalleled. In hindsight, I don't even know how he knew all these groups and artists. Outside of the last 2 weeks, I never knew what life was without him being somewhere present. And it pains me to say, the last few years, we weren't very close. And there never really was an aha moment of something that happened that made us not as close. It's very unfortunate because I never really had anything against him. Thinking back over my life, I can think of several aha moments that really defined my life. And the trajectory of my life wouldn't have been the same if he wasn't the elder statesman growing up 6 years older than me. That was always such an advantage for me. Mainly because I was getting all the high school game when I was going into junior high. I felt like I had a head start on a lot of activities that would have ordinarily taken me longer to navigate. But it was right there for me, like literally, right there in my older brother's dressing. Whether or not he knew I knew what was in there were two different things. Children are nosy. They like to snoop around. I was no different. And in my defense, Jarrod always had the coolest things in his dressing. If you knew Jarrod well, you know what type of things I'm talking about. I'm not going to say them in front of the rabbi. Jarrod's friends were his life. Fortunately for me, at some point in time, every kind of person you can imagine had entered our home. And Jarrod had made friends with them. Because of that, no matter who I'd encounter on my own, I had someone else I could compare them to, and an interaction I could use as a roadmap of how to socialize. There are certain moments that stick out more than others out of a whole lifetime, one of which had to be circa 1988, and Jarrod came home with his friend and the NWA tape and the Eazy-E single, Easy Does It, with Ruthless Villain on side B. This is one of the first memories that I had. I certainly couldn't grasp the breadth of the situation at 4 or 5 years old, or even was I able to experience on the same frequency that Jarrod could. But one thing was for sure, something really important had happened that day. I look back at the enthusiasm on his face and how impressed I was as a 5-year-old. These type of events helped me develop my passion for music. Jarrod had a wealth of access that extended way past the walls of our family's den at our old house behind the showboat. Ironically, as I look into the crowd, I see a lot of faces who were around at this time who can verify these stories. This is because when Jarrod, or J-Rock, had a friend, he'd keep a friend. It's very important to manage and maintain human relationships in life. I don't think I ever seen anybody demonstrate this skill better than Jarrod. That was his expertise. He would navigate the canvases of friendship much like Picasso with a paintbrush. This is a reason I never tried to compete with him in this area. To put it mildly, I could never be the nice, friendly guy the way he could. He could forget more about friendship than most of us could ever hope to learn. First time I ever watched a Laker game was with Jarrod. That would have been Lakers versus Pistons in the finals, to be exact, 1988. The Spud Webb dunk contest was another moment he insisted I watched. It was all life-changing. These are all fruit of a tree Jarrod had planted the seeds to. this would prove to be a major component of my life, and it still is. The first time I saw Scarface, a Mike Tyson fight, or Andrew Dice Clay stand-up was all with Jarrod. He knew the importance it would provide a young man like myself. He understood better than anybody the benefits of being a diverse soul. He had an eclectic palette in all areas of life: music, food, people, and more than I could imagine. A true Renaissance man if I ever knew one. When we moved to Green Valley in '91, this would become the headquarters of Jarrod's social circle. If they went to Green Valley, they came through our house. I would talk to random people my freshman year of high school, and they would tell me stories of how they've been to our house and they know who we are. I was trying to introduce myself. Because of Jarrod's social magnetism, people you see, every representation of the community. These were permanent fixtures in our home. From the BBYO conventions to the improvised smoke sessions that would turn into barbecues at a moment's notice, these are the moments that defined who I am. When I think about what life would have been without all of these moments, it would have been very empty and challenging. Years later, when I joined BBYO, I saw that some of my friends were having a hard time making friends and whatnot. I never had to feel uncomfortable because the older kids who knew Jarrod showed me the same type of love he showed them when he was the older and they were in my position. That and most of the advisors were folks who at one time slept in our home. They were all his friends. If it had been the opposite and I was the older one, he wouldn't have had as much fun as I did. He was the friend maker. Hold on.
Okay. Take your time.
One second. I lost my spot. Okay. That was a place where being related to Jarrod really did mean a lot. He was the ultimate concierge. Years later, when my grandmother was sick in '92 and '93, and hospital waiting rooms and cafeterias became Jarrod and my new hangout, there was one particular night I remember where we met two people. One of them was Rabbi Sanford Axelrod, no offense, and the other one was Dana Plato. I had no idea who she was, but Jarrod assured me she was a really big deal. Looking back in hindsight, Dana Plato was definitely hitting on Jarrod, and he didn't realize it. There were always little moments like this when Jarrod would make a common occurrence into a lifelong memory. I can't really think of anyone else being my brother. The main point of what I'm trying to explain to you is exactly how unique an experience it was growing up with Jarrod. There are certain things I know he's the only person who could relate. I used to love when he'd pick me up from school. These are the time periods that really shaped and molded my taste in music. It was also very important to have diverse taste in music. Before Jarrod got his turntables, he broke every record player we had in the house. That's how far back we go, to the record player days. He showed me Eddie Murphy Raw for the first time. When Jarrod got a guitar, I got a bass. When he got long hair, I got long hair. Perhaps one reason we weren't as close as adults was I needed to take my own path and form my own identity. Because for the longest, all I ever wanted to do was tag along with Jarrod and his friends. I would hate when they would leave and use their fake IDs when they were 18, because I knew that would be the end of the party for me. It pleases me to know that somehow I got casted in a movie of Jarrod's life, and what a pleasure it has been to be with all the diverse cast of characters who made the final cut. All these random people from various ethnicities, political ideologies, and a wide range of lifestyles, who had nothing else in common other than the fact that Jarrod established a relationship with them. Jarrod made a friend out of you, he kept that friend. For life in most cases. Like anyone else, you don't always agree with your friends, but I'd love to watch the old faces cycle back through after a brief period of downtime. If you had Jarrod as a friend, you'd know that you probably didn't have another friend like him. To say I'll miss him doesn't do justice to the incredible substantial void it will forever bring to my life. But these last few weeks without Jarrod, I don't know that the idea that he's not just on the road somewhere with friends or colleagues and will return again after some duration is very surreal. I don't know what this new format of life has in store for my family and I, but one thing I'm sure of, Jarrod wouldn't want the party to stop just because he left.
Amen.
Me and Jarrod both had a plethora of friends and would venture far out into the Las Vegas community. And we would go on our own very separate paths. But when those paths ended, we would find ourselves back at the very same place. For better or worse, we were passengers on the same trip. If the two of us were to be up a proverbial creek, one thing's for sure. Whenever we did arrive at our destination, we'd be arriving together. We laughed together, fought, cried, made up. No matter how far we would travel in that same direction or separate paths, or what character we'd portray out in the world, when we'd return, we'd still be Corey and Jarrod from Marlene Way. When my grandmother was sick, Jarrod and I knew headquarters was the hospital. Looking back at this time, as sad as it was for me, I still had Jarrod to hang out with, and he had me. We had each other. Jarrod made me tough. He was tough. He had incredible strength. The thing I respect about Jarrod the most is his ability to put a smile on his face and pretend everything was all good when it wasn't. I know there was no way everything could be all good. You wouldn't know that if you judged his demeanor. Incredible strength that takes. If I wasn't on the wrong side of many battles at our respective ages 16 and 10, I wouldn't have had that hurdle to overcome, that chip on my shoulder. People see the hippie, happy-go-lucky person he was with his friends, but I can assure you he was very tough, strong. He prepared me the same way an older bear does a younger bear. We were each other's checks and balances. In a family where such a shining star exists, I had to put up a convincing argument just to get attention. He was an entertainer by nature. Wherever he was on stage and ready to perform. There'd be times as a teenager when I'd be at a party that got shut down by the police, and I'd have to call a parent or guardian. Jarrod had his own phone line, so I'd give the cops his number, and he'd come pick me up, and never tell anyone else. It would always come with a stern lecture. We grew up. We kind of raised each other in many ways. Definitely the closest family member I've ever had. Spent the most time around. With Jarrod, you knew every day was like a party. That being said, it wasn't a party the place I would likely see him. No bright lights, no marquees or live music. No elaborate displays, celebrities, special guests or fancy hotel rooms. No backstage passes, no VIP rooms, no write-ups or per diems. Just my takeout box of wings and some of them missing in the fridge. The way he'd rearrange the kitchen and misplace all the lids. Or how he'd passionately remove all the mustards from the cabinet. I'm going to miss all of these. This is the Jarrod I know. He wasn't a witty punchline or a butt of a joke, nor is he there for my amusement. No hashtags, acronyms, or the latest fads. No open bars and all you can dab. Just my brother. Just him. His clothes I tried to sneak to school without him noticing. From triumphant moments to the most agonizing. If I was there, he was there. When my aunt passed, we had settled a petty dispute of us not talking to each other. Something about me crashing his car. Something very petty like that. Because we knew if it happened to one of us, it happened to both. We felt the same pain. We had each other to console. We didn't go to therapy. We therapied each other. If one of us had something, we pretty much both had it. Just as the things in life we didn't have, we both didn't. Show me two brothers who never fight, and I'll show you two brothers who never cared. Any fight we ever had in hindsight wasn't very serious. At least not serious enough to warrant not speaking as long as we had. I always thought that was corny. I mean, we lived together for many years. If it was a real problem, it just obviously wasn't. I didn't have any ill will towards him, and I never had any negative energy for him. But one thing I do regret was my arrogance to think it wasn't my responsibility to try and fix it. I regret not making it a priority. The idea I had enough time to fix a problem with a loved one or a problem they had with me, that I didn't need to do it right now, that it could wait, because it couldn't. You can't change the past, no matter how far, be it 5 minutes, 20 years, or before you're born. And you can get back everything else you lose except wasted time and loved ones. That I have to live with. And before we go any further, let's be friends. Amen. Thank you.
Corey, unbelievable, wonderful, beautiful. I have a word to describe what you said. Fantabulous. That's fantastic and fabulous. Really, unbelievable. You know, and it reminds me about something. When Moses, by the way, a lot of people refer to him like Moses. Somebody said Jesus, Moses, but he was that kind of person. He really was. He was wonderful. And I remember in the Bible it says when Moses asked God, how do I refer to you? Okay? And God said, Ehyeh, Asher Ehyeh. I am what I am. And you want to know something? Jarrod was, is, and will always be who he was, and he touched each one of us. And we will always love him and cherish the memories that we have with him. And now, last but not least, I want to call on two very special individuals. I had the honor and privilege to officiate at their wedding 3 years ago, right? 3 years is 36 months. 36 is 2 times high. So it's very, very special. Two special individuals. We all love them, and we know them. Lori and AJ, please come forward and share your thoughts.
Thank you, Rabbi. Appreciate you for being here. This is, none of us are supposed to be here. Nobody thought this day was happening. We all thought that Jarrod would be by our side for a long time to come, that we'd have a chance to know something, but this came out of nowhere, and it's, people are absorbing it as they get the information and hear about this. And I'm at this stage right now where I cried so much that it hurt, and we're not supposed to be here. That's all I can think, is that I can't think of a guy who more people counted on, who more people called their best friend than Jarrod. J-Rock, Jerry when we were messing with him. He was amazing at making friends. He came away from every contact he made with people glowing. The love he had for him. The rabbi mentioned Jarrod could turn water into wine. He did that, you know, in a very interesting way, and I think most of you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. I used to, once in a while, I would mess around to see how slow I could go from my wallet to see if Jarrod would go slower. But I never minded, because the man was good fucking company.
Yeah, you're right.
He delivered in spades. He was always positive. I used to get on him. I go, what are you talking about? You don't even eat meat. How do you know the steak's good there? He was positive. he maybe saw the good in people, maybe he had so much inside of himself that he was able to share it with so many. I don't know anybody who's got a tenth of the photographs. Jarrod in his tap shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes. A fan gave it to us, said, please give this to Tab Benoit. We realized it didn't have a tag, it wasn't new, and Tag would not wear a shirt without a collar. But for our Hindu brother, it was perfect, and he wore it well, as you see here in the photograph. A genius indeed. That was just recently at Weiss, one of our favorite places to get food. How many people in here went to Weiss with Jarrod over the years? Oh my God, right?
Before it was called Weiss.
Okay.
Before it was called Weiss with him.
Right, Samuel's Deli. Yes. You know, he was everything to Lori and I. He was pretty much the only friend who had access to our house anytime. He was always welcome over. I didn't have to be dressed. I didn't have to have fix my hair. I didn't have to put on underwear. It was cool. All right. But I went around in a wife beater, but that's about it. I don't do that in front of anybody else but Jarrod and my wife. And I don't know how we go forward. Lori is not at the stage of moving past the tears. And for those of us who are married or have a significant other, can you imagine a world where you could find that you had a friend, right? Me and Jarrod go back whatever years, and then you find a woman, say, come move to Vegas, come live with me, then let's get married. And she thinks he's the best. Right? No woman likes your best friend.
Right?
Oh, what did you guys do? What happened? Why are you over at Chica's Bonita again?
2112 Western.
Lori,
2112er.
Lori questioned me bringing up Chica's, but I knew the crowd I was playing to.
Oh, okay, is it?
So I'm going through my life and I'm wondering who's gonna step up, who's gonna be that friend who's there with us all the time, who's gonna glide that line between a couple, and there's not. And I don't know why we're here. We're not supposed to be here. And I know this is the way he would want it. He liked coming here to Garage Mahal. We smoked plenty of joints here. And we hung out. And there's a photo in this menagerie of photos.
Sippy.
And I couldn't think of a better place that we could let loose, that we could have this part of it, and celebrate what Jarrod loved, which was life. I always wondered what Jarrod was going to do when he got old. I worried about him as a friend, as an employer. Jarrod was the hardest working employee I ever had for 2 weeks of a year. We would bust him up so bad he would beg for a foot transplant.
Yeah.
And I mean, he worked so hard. One of the last practical jokes I ever played on Jarrod, if you'll allow me to tell it. We were up in the suite at the last Bender, and Jarrod had suggested running a bath because I was ready for my foot transplant. So Jarrod goes in and runs the water. Like 3 hours later, I head into that part of the suite to go see what's going on, not even thinking about the bath that was supposed to happen 3 hours ago. And the water's still running. But he never put the plunger down. It's just running. So I come out to the living room, people are gathered, and I'm like, hold on here, I'm gonna really mess with you. So Jarrod comes walking back in the suite. I mean, we worked him hard, he's running around, he's got his hands full of stuff, and he's like, I don't know what he's doing at the moment, but I said, hey man, hotel front desk just called. They say there's a bunch of water on the floor below us, just streaming down. You know anything about this? I don't finish the words out of my mouth. Jarrod drops everything in his hand. Runs. I mean, this is a man who can barely walk at this point. Runs. And he took it well, right? Right? He took it well, and he laughed about it, because that was Jarrod. And that's why we love him. And, you know, we're not taking applications today for a new best friend, but I hope all of you who lost a best friend here today find a new best friend. I love you all for coming and supporting and paying tribute to one of the greatest of all times. I am not even a tenth of the man Jarrod is, and I'm going to miss him. Bless you all. Thank you.
This is truly a celebration of his life, you know? And as we celebrate the life and memory of Jarrod, I'm reminded of a poem. I'm going to make it very brief. The dash of our lives. We are born, dash, we live and we grow and we share all these wonderful memories. And it's the dash in life that really counts. It's not what we do and how we live that really matters. But life is like a journey. We make the journey, reaching out, touching others, and making a difference. And Jarrod reached out to each one of us with love, with compassion, with sincerity, and he made a difference in our lives. I want to conclude by asking everybody to please rise for a special prayer for him in Hebrew and English. Eil malei rachamim shulchein b'amrobim, hamitzei menucha lechona tachas kanpei hashchina, V'malos kedoshim u'tehorim kizohar horaki hamazirim as nishmas Menachem Laban ben Miriam. O God, exalted and full of compassion, grant perfect shalom, peace, and your sheltering presence among the holy and pure to the soul of Jarrod Brooks Hughes, who was gone to his eternal home. Master of mercy, we beseech you, remember all the worthy deeds, righteousness, everything that he gave us, which we will have in our hearts, in our minds, as long as we live. May his neshama be bound up in the bond of life, and let us all say, Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I wrote a special little poem I'm going to conclude because it's very, very important. We thought of Jarrod with love today, but that is nothing new. We thought about him yesterday, and the days before that too. The smile on his face, the sound of his voice, his memory in our minds will never, ever part. God has Jarrod in his keeping. We have Jarrod in our hearts. Jarrod, rest in peace, now and always, forever. Amen. And let us all say Amen. Amen. Everybody say L'chaim. To life. To life. Thank you all very much. And what comes before part B?
Now.
Oh, what comes before part B? Partay. So now we're going to partay, right?
I'm glad I didn't have to follow him. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm glad I didn't have to follow him. I think I left it up there. You have to stay. Have some food and then try. Get some food. Everybody gets food. Beautiful. I'm glad I have to follow him. Oh my
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, he brought it up. Just walked out this way. Here, follow me. Come on, let's go. I just not. That's wrong. Come on.
Yeah, my father came up to see me after he went to like Home Depot when he slipped on some water. They didn't have no signs out. He came up to me up in Oregon. We went crabbing. But we're backing up, and somehow he got his feet tangled up in the duffel bag, man. And he literally did no hands out fall right on the shoulder again. It was the first thing ever. He just had surgery on him, but he's like can't move his arm right now. They're trying to do his therapy so he can move it, but overall, it was there's times he's like, I can't do this. So he's just got a little bit of doubt going pop it in, pop it in. I can see how that.
I was a little worried about the sound, but if I'd have to use
I saw him at Finley a couple years ago. When I had my first day. Yeah. Windows in there, the day. Yeah. He doesn't make the second one, so. He does. I stayed that hard.
You got anything going?
Yeah, that was dope. My social life doing this, what doing this.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe you got it. They watch it every night.
You gonna get out after, he's gonna be here a couple more nights?
I'm thinking about staying tomorrow night down here, and then I'm bumping into people. I got a little attempt in the car I'm trying to sell to. I want to show some buyers.
Okay. Dude, I'll be around. I'm in like right by the auto mall.
Get your number, Jeff.
That's the same one. 702 580
I'll never change that.
But yeah, man, I put them to bed like 8:30 every night.
Okay.
But Monday and Tuesday night, I don't have it. I'll have it tonight. Monday and Tuesday night is their mom's night off. So
Yeah.
I'll just stay.
Yeah, absolutely. Love you too.
No, he's pretty proud. Proud.
Like I said,
Bro,
that's what I mean. All the time, popping his collar and like, and like they said, you know, AJ, he was like, you know, That was a serious thought in my brain.
I can do it way better,
Yeah. I had to go out and party with and before that, he was like, yeah, and I was like, I fucked that up.
Yeah, when it happens at a certain age,
oh yeah. Right now, fast. That's the other thing, my kids picking us up there, you know? No family, nothing. I'm thinking I don't know now. They're getting
I don't know how long he's going to stay up there. He's got about a year left. Before he went in, he's like, going to be lifetime. And then once he went in, he's like, I'll fuck out of this. Yeah, right?
especially with everything the way it's going right now.
It sounded cool. As an 18 16-year-old, numbering sounds so cool, but then like he's literally underwater for like 2 years. Get called, get text.
I couldn't imagine not having a light day.
Bro, they surface every now and again and they'll let them on good the top, but like not very often. You know what I mean? And you think like, I will, like, I still lose my
Wow. That's so good, man. That's I have a hard time finding them out in fucking Oregon right now.
Oh, yeah?
That's where they're out of. Okay. They're out of Sure. I got a fucking pair in my bag right now. I'm out. Yeah. I love having five. That is why I hate all the other ones. Because of that reason.
I'm a small, so I don't have to worry about getting a lot of sugar and food.
It's good. And if anybody would let me know and they were way together, like
Congratulations on the way. I hope you're right enough to try and pray for life. And if you buy admission, I know now you're wrong. Probably don't remember. I used to think the system and never did you with. Oh, is it over? See us out the street wrong. Haters with the wrong sound. That our whole thing changed. Cause we don't even think you got big money seen. You and my heart, you was the same young brother that. What's up, go tell the time about your brother's back. I can't even lie.
Right, I remember. And started beating me and moved up and beat my client.
We used to be like this, the crackers fight. Playing desert, so we in that little buzzing. No, that we wasn't eating like you so much. Behind the stairs, I'm keeping pictures, I reminisce on all the times we shared. Besides bumping and grinding, wasn't nothing on our mind. The time we learned to live a life of guilt. And we wound it back to the place we started to the way. I told him better, you know. And even though we separated, we told him to wait. Don't give around my love while I be locked up safe. I took my mom to cry. Like the tears from my thighs. Said I returned, but I can't fight the bitch to ride. No shades here. I'm a plane like you. Driving and smack. For a couple of years, you gotta go to max. I'm not the busters on their backs in my cell. Thinking, I know when they have to back. When the ruthless I touch down. Until my real, I'll be there. Going up and living on the kill. I don't even think I'm making it. I hope I can.
goals, you know what I mean? But you have to
Yeah.
and that's fucking awesome.
It is.
But yeah, fucking meat
So many other things for us to see. Things to be our history, so full of tragedy.
I feel like I've been creating a lot of
to all my homies never made it home. The dead kids I shed tattoo tears for when I'm alone. Picture us inside a ghetto heaven. A place to rest, find in peace, misled distress. In my chest I feel pain coming sudden storm. Like full of rain in this game, watch my land going. I'm unborn, never got to grow, never got to see what's next. In this world full of countless threats. I beg God to make this way for my ghetto kids. Please show a sign that that's all for me. Cause I ain't mad at you.
I couldn't do it, bro. I did my best. It didn't work out.
I didn't know if they were together or not. That woman only came for money.
How's his kid?
They're doing alright. They're getting big fast. He's gonna go to another beast.
Yeah, though, I saw him at.
His daughter's not like. Definitely got
She's
better.
so cute. She's so cute. I saw him at a pizza place. And then, but his boy was little, so it's been before COVID, so 2 years ago. His boy was still like little. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was fucked up. I saw him all together, and then like a couple weeks later, I saw a couple of his posts talking about shit about it. I'm like, oh, this is bummed me out.
Yeah, but dude, I'm glad this time around you fucking figured it out.
Are you? See you later.
Better choose the right corner. Pick the kitties up.
You can catch me in the Chevy Bell 150 round like a Rizzy hot dance. Dizzy, poppin' Rizzy doing 60 pound bombers and drums. Trying to close the way out the rubber. Poppin' bottles up and so it's my people swap that. Sweating heroes that I'm watch that. I just moved in the Dallas. They need to just every Dallas.
Do that. Chris, can you take a
Yo, why is Jada Kiss's artists and gifts? Why is the industry designed to keep the artists in debt? And why them dudes ain't riding if they party is set? And why they never get it poppin' what they party to death? Yeah, and why they gon' give you life for a murder? Turn around, only give you 8 months for a murder. It's going down. Why they selling niggas CDs for under a dime? If it's all love, daddy, why you covered your nine? Why my niggas ain't get that cake? Why is it perfect? Your name, get that break. Why you established that trying to be fly? Why is it every time high? Why are you even alive? Why the king too high?
unfortunate circumstance for sure, but
why the bullets have to hit that door? Why the cookie have to hit that roar? Why the kiss that hole?
I'm always around. I used to do that road. I haven't done that shit. They're better than I used to.
niggas push pounds and power? Why they push down in towers? Why you around them cowards? Why Leah have to take that flight? Why my nigga D pull out his Ferrari? Why he take that fight? Why they gotta open your package and read your mail? Why they stop letting niggas get degrees in jail? Why you gotta do 85% of your time? And why do niggas lie 85% of their mouths? Why a nigga always want what he can't have? Why I can't come through when the beat can't jag? Why the track have to hit so hard even though it's almost over? Why niggas can't get no jobs? Why they come up with the witness protection? Why they let the Terminator win the election? Come on, pay attention. Why selling the stones to the selling the streets? Why I say the hottest shit but they selling the least? Why?
You let me know. You can leave nice over here. I'll make it happen, bro. Alright, make it happen. Alright, yes, sir.
Why can't Zell have to be crooked before he took it? Why they didn't make the CL6 with a clutch? And if you don't smoke, why the hell you reaching for my Dutch? Why I'm mad? Cause I need airtime. Why be on the curb with a wide line? I need a man sign. Why all the young niggas is dying? Cause they moms have money, they pops is gone, and living with iron. Why they ain't give us a cure for AIDS? Why my diesel have fiends in the spot on the floor for days? Why you screaming like it's a slug? It's only the heart. Why my buzz in LA ain't like it is in New York? Why they forcing you to be hard? Why ain't you a thug by choice? Why the whole world loves my voice? Why I try to tell them that it's the flow, son? And you know why they made the new 20s? Cause I got all my old ones. That's why. All that I believe in is this pain that I believe in. They got me in the system. Why they gotta move me like that? Try to make it my way. When I say
Okay, good. Alright, you good?
Years ago, hands and in the road, first to start something good. When me and my nigga broke apart, through the hood, just trying to find that good day. I just in the face, around trying to catch that feeling of instrumental. And my pencil, plus my paper. We taught the haters teach like on your head, and you can take a right around, knowing that we can rock, we can walk through shit, hip hop style, like freeze, making the crowd move. Making no G's and that way no number 1, 2. Dope niggas in the Cadillac, they call us with some flakes, bottles, with the top of on the map. It's like, you to rock the bang and niggas say, what the fuck that flaking? They pay, we say it's making more cash than that. Made it with the big boys, I'm in this industry, outcast shit. Them niggas ain't making big noise, really get so to this day. Niggas are taking like they 96 on me, can't hear that all y'all players hit shit by me. I'm not this bitch.
I stopped at the mall the other day. Just wait for it. They was saying something. Talking about ain't been something. I'm not ready, but he kept smiling like a clown. Facial expression looking silly, and he kept asking me how to go to drive. I couldn't believe I know y'all got boo-boo before, so all the talk that y'all done made. And I was bothered, I ain't going through the same thing that he had. True, I got more fans than the average man, but got enough room to last me. To the end of the week, I live by the beat like you did check the check. If you don't move your feet, then I don't think so. We like that today. Yes, we done come a long way, like them slim ass cigarettes from Virginia. This ain't gonna stop, so we just gonna continue.
I don't remember all of a sudden. Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to do it something. I think we had like Gumby.
Oh no, it doesn't bother me. Streaming like money is all I see. Don't give thanks unto the mighty God. He will love me while I have peace. Oh, your reward shall be great. So
now I see the day. When I'm sitting at the Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. Now I'm sitting at the Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. Sitting at the Babylon one by one, sitting in Mount Zion. Sitting at the Babylon one by one. What are you doing? Mount Zion. Stepping on top of Babylon. Stepping on top of Babylon. I've got no opportunity in a Babylon, but I know, yes I know, there's a Mount Zion. But oh, someday his children will find a way. So get up, and don't let the devil lead you astray. Jerusalem in Mount Zion. Sitting at the Babylon in New Jerusalem in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one, stepping in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon one by one, stepping in Mount Zion. Stepping out of Babylon, stepping out of Babylon, stepping out of Babylon. Oh, give thanks unto the Almighty God, who showed me what I hear. He said, stand firm and keep the faith. Oh, your reward shall be great. So now I see the day. And now I'm sitting at the Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion. I'm sitting at the Babylon in New Jerusalem, in Mount Zion.
Don Dada, a long time we no see you, Don Dada. It's so long, Don Dada. I gotta say you came, Don Dada. You so strong, Don Dada. Only you know when we see Don Dada. Can't be enough to know, Don Dada. You want to call it me, Don Dada. Hey, when me go then call me Don Dada. Big man, you get to me and everyone father. Grandpa, grandma, mama, and baby father. Everyone call me Don Dada. So children, yes mama. Where have you been to, Don Dada? What did they teach you what to love one another? Did you obey me, yes mama, Don Dada? Isn't all of you, Don Dada? It's so long, Don Dada. My body so pretty, Don Dada. It's so strong, Don Dada. The Maki was so new, Don Dada. Jaja no, Don Dada. Is it me just a call you me, Don Dada? No respect you to all the Don Dada. The Maki was in a building, checking on the area. The people that love the Don Dada. The Maja bless my Jaja. Children, yes mama. When me you know say you are Don Dada. Cause he always bring no one man. And we know he must be wrong and strong, Don Dada. He is sorry, Don Dada. Oh yeah, Don Dada. And Maja we always sing Don Dada. Yes, Don Dada. You no stop shock out Don Dada. Don Dada, you might be one who make it drop, Don Dada. Hey, Them say we have to say they like trouble, but we don't dada, nah we don't be trouble. Sometimes we don't dada, we don't go a deal, but them must be done dada, but we the one who do them call me John Dada. You know big to me or everyone father. Grandpa, grandma, baby, mama, baby, father. Everyone call me John Dada. So yes, mama, we are up in John Dada. What is you would do one another? If you want to be yes, mama, John Dada. Allow them to see John Dada. It's so long, John Dada. And that just ain't no John Dada. Bidi bang bang, 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 bidi bang bang. Early Sunday morning, inna the mud me and the gully mother me and down in a one by one, load up the fun, all of the ganja in your hand. Put it on a plane, no we gonna stay, only just a cool like.
You know what? Do it during separate.
Down there in the ghetto I know, we suffer vision I once know. Mommy and daddy all are we so poor, we all have to see one another. Slam it up and blow down the door, we happy me shoes stay run, we don't flash, we don't know what to do. Mommy does a all, poor, Early Sunday morning, it was a big and just in a day, one by one, load up the line, looking at the money, going guns. Me just stop and run up the lane in a home Mommy and daddy, all I will say, bow it, go on it, blow down me door, me happy, me shoes stay, me don't just a shoe, me no know what Mama tell me in a rock broke school,
Because how did you know nothing is something started wrong with you? And we all should be aware of it. Yeah. Because how did you not love it? Don't know that would be without it. There's someone always thinking on the way. My next door neighbor thinks I'm making noise. They don't know, what's going on. think and realize music is right. Whoa, they don't know what's going on. Cause they don't stop and think and realize music is right. I feel the vibes when I hear the music. Don't wanna know that I would live without it. Hear someone always thinking all the ways. My next door neighbor think I'm making noise. They don't know what's going on.
No.
person on this. So we got the people for the person on this. So remember Marcus Garvey and his African legend. So remember Marcus Garvey and his African legend. And lots of people in my place. Some say no Africa. Some say no Africa.
Like lion and it's such a little boy, and then you look at him and eventually bolts and tries to. Like detailed little lives. And you know, I'm there. I think I feel shit.
Turn around, follow me.
Yeah,
That's what Moon says to me. I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. They sell out stadiums for like 20 years, 25 years.
and they were like arguing.
That's crazy. I didn't hear them until I got in Mexico.
Why would
was telling the city how that grinder. Grinder's pretty cool. I think we should sell it. It's custom. These churros over there.
Check 1, 2, hey, 1, 2, that's good. 1, 2, hey, hey. We're getting all started for you. Thanks for being patient with us. Hello. Fellas. Check 1, 2.
Just a Coke?
Nope.
Mike,
You
yeah.
want just a Coke?
I'll get one.
You've got the shirt that you wanted.
You want my guitar? Or
Really? I thought that was the one you wanted. It was all silk, but that print.
that one should be in 1. What was that red dot say?
Well, there goes my one Christmas present.
Yeah, it's on
Thanks
1.
for putting the brakes on that one before.
For him. For his vocal.
What? That's the one I want.
That's the one you want? Okay, you can rock it.
Test it. No, it was on before. Yeah. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test it. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test. Sweep through it. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right, well, we're both on. All right. Testing. Did you want to do monitors real quick, or? Ah. What? Which one? My monitor is 2. Yeah, we both got the same one. The other one is that's 1. This is 2, 3, and then 4 is up here on the stage.
More cowbell? Let's go.
Yeah, this is 3. 2, and then 1. Yo. Test 1. Are you coming up? Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. I'm coming up. We'll take 4. That one? What do you guys want? A little bit. Test 1. What do we want? Oh, vocal? Test. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. Monitor check. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. I think it's out there, right? It's not coming through. Monitors. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Testing. All right. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Are you hearing anything? I'm hearing myself and number 2. Yeah, I'm talking to you right now. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. And then if we could just work on getting 4 in the keys, the keys in monitor 4, then we're good to start. Not yet. Yeah, keys can come way up in number 4. I don't even hear it at all. We're gonna do a number, and if you can figure out the keys in the fourth monitor, then that'll be good. Just the monitors, and we'll be good. Yeah, they're not in it. Monitor 4. Test 1, 2.
No, the TV,
What's it? Somebody's drank too much of a Baracho. I've been called that one too.
He got angry after we left him with dinner. I think she rubbed it She's intense, right?
Hey, 1, 2, 1, 2, hey, hey. Alright. You can turn 4 back up, that monitor. At least for the keys. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tell me what you want me to say.
1, 2. Check 1, 2. Oh, it's hot. Check 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, leave. Good. And then we need the keys in 4. They're just coming out of 2.
Oh my god.
This?
She needs a date.
Test 1, 2.
I have to take her out somewhere.
Two. I need two on the monitor. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. I got keyboard coming out through this one. Test 1, 2. Yeah, I'm like super locked through that. Through 2. Test 1. His mic is going off, not 2. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. Test 1, 2. Testing. Keyboard the blue battery. Check 1, 2.
Yeah, take her.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's almost like you're trying to adjust forward, but maybe this is monitor 2 because everything's coming out of monitor 2.
It's a great slideshow. It's a good slideshow.